Hello and good evening once again. Thank you for joining us for the 10 o'clock edition of the UBC News Tonight. My name is Wadulo Arnold Mark and Dorothy Namuyomba on sign language. It's going to be an hours-long bulletin. So without further ado, let's take a look at tonight's top stories and then get straight into the bulletin. And in our headlines tonight, leaders in West Nile call for more supporters as the region marks Peace Day. Furthermore, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni launches a 1 billion compensation drive. African countries urged to adopt the Kampala Declaration to fast-track SDG implementation. And more than 120 survivors of the Kiteezi landfill slide receive vocational skills training. Welcome to the news tonight. President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has launched the long-awaited compensation exercise of the ex-combatants of the West Nile Bank, Front 1 and 2 rebel group, with the distribution of 1 billion shillings among the beneficiaries. The president pledged to the former rebels group that were led by the current second Deputy Prime Minister General Moses Ali and the late Major General Ali Bamuze that the process will be completed in the 2 financial years. President Museveni made these remarks during the Peace Day celebrations in Gaya Primary School grounds in Yumbe district, which used to be the base of the rebel groups. More details in the report.
Gaya Primary School grounds was packed to full capacity as thousands of people from West Nile and beyond gathered to celebrate Peace Day in Yumbe district after peace deals were signed with 3 different rebel groups 23 years ago. The excited crowds, mainly donned in yellow, carried several placards with dance and welcome messages for the president. During the celebrations, Museveni came with 1 billion shillings and launched the process of starting to compensate the former rebels as per the peace deal, and pledged to make sure the process is completed in 2 financial years.
We need 26 billion to finish the UNLF.
Jo wale peririga send billion kalir desia ijo do UNLF badri ex-combatants is pinir de peritejo West Nile gara perire.
So I said for this occasion, let's come with 1 billion and pay some.
Jo ijo do si and romuju mudigararga adu di billionaires elo ido do si bari ko fe. Thank you, Your Excellency.
And launch the payment.
Ado sendru a bari ko fe ngoniari kifungula chaini ta muzemu to chelela.
And in the new financial year, which is starting in July, we pay 13 billion.
Jo imbazi amopidisi amadova sende ezeji billion mutitina avasi badi baimbi kufe.
And in the other year, after you have elected NRM, the next financial year.
Jo atiki the election NRM te niaga gadi bebo. A don't send the baby do to sbarki to fega.
We pay another 12 billion.
Museveni discouraged the politics of revenge to avoid further insecurity in Uganda that saw West Nile and Acholi sub-region killing each other because of the mistakes made by the leaders of Idi Amin Dada and Milton Obote after both of them fell from power.
Meanwhile, in Lango and Acholi, we also rejected the policy of revenge.
Sita do falanga Acholi garadi do fito sita aro femani di.
We didn't agree with the targeting of the rangi because of Obote.
Jo ama igerisiku atabaru fengofe balangi baru ijondo butano era kiseba sijwa kibonjila adorvatija kindu trele ingagerisiku.
For targeting the Acholi because of Basilio Kero and Tito Kero.
Joseph Iju Chadarifaru, Ufu Divachoni Biki, Ado Sikulari.
It is that policy.
Tito Kano by Josilai, Ugaito Dumpe.
It is that policy of opposing the wrong and supporting the right that the General Moses was talking about.
And furthermore, in a heartwarming development from Kole district, a promise made by President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni during his recent parish development model tour has been fulfilled. A borehole pledged to a local woman in Ayar sub-county has been constructed and officially handed over today by a team from State House. Let's take a look.
Rose Akoi, a PDM beneficiary from Ayar sub-county, is a woman beaming with joy. During President Museveni's tour in the Lango sub-region earlier this year, Rose received 15 million Uganda shillings to support her household. Today, she is constructing a 3-roomed heaped house, what has become the most admired structure in her village. The impact is far-reaching. Rose used part of the funds to purchase oxen and an oxen plough, easing farming activities, and secured additional land to expand their agricultural efforts.
Dang jota poya tek po jarmela dung ba ina ya mir me da dung lawka gumora mela do penuar podi.
But the story doesn't end there. During his visit, the president noticed Rose had no access to water for her piglets and pledged to build a borehole. That promise has now been fulfilled.
He did not take long. After making a pledge, he has brought the water to the local people. And he will still continue doing that.
Constructed at a cost of 25.9 million Uganda shillings by State House, the new borehole is not only serving Rose's household, but also benefiting the entire Ayar community. Representing the State House Comptroller, Lydia Owera hailed the development, urging men to work hand in hand with their wives to drive change at home. 2,
to be very hardworking. 3, not to take government program for granted. Let's try to embrace government programs, more so PDM, Emyoga, Youth Livelihood Fund, and so many others.
PDM, Parish Development Model, is a model which is workable, which is achievable. It is about the mindset. Let's take this PDM as a game changer because it has transformed the life of this a poor woman now to a man economy.
We are very happy that PDM is doing a great job.
Kole woman member of parliament, Judith Aliek, also applauded the progress and promised to lobby for increased water coverage in parliament.
Buying medicines every time being admitted in the hospital. But in a community where there is clean water, where people are making money without diseases, that community will develop.
From 4 piglets to owning land, livestock, and a respected home, Rose Akoi is a living proof of the PDM impact. And as she continues to thrive, she has vowed to champion President Museveni's cause in her village. Mary Namkose, Edi Yolwa, UBC News.
The First Lady and Minister of Education and Sports, Mrs. Janet Museveni, received a delegation from Western University, Canada, to discuss strengthening collaborations and exploring new opportunities for academic and research partnerships. The 6-member Western University team paid a courtesy call on the First Lady at State House, Nakasero.
The First Lady welcomed the delegation to Uganda and highlighting the strong historical and academic ties between Uganda and Western University, particularly in health and infectious disease research. She lauded the success of current student exchange programs between the two countries and pointed out the importance of careful planning to ensure these exchange programs benefit young people while enabling Ugandan universities to properly accommodate international students.
So we have to think about these programs and plan for them, and it may take some time before we can really be able to do the exchange programs that we know would benefit our own young people and also the others who come from elsewhere. We would like to see our partners come from elsewhere and come and work with our young people at these universities.
The partnership between Uganda's Joint Clinical Research Center and Western University School of Medicine and Dentistry has enabled many students from both institutions to study and train together.
We would really want to work with you more and build these relationships for our young people so that they know that they all have a duty to transform the world as it is for tomorrow. You may find our young people can still make our world a better place than it is right now. So let's explore everything that's doable, and we do what we can in this season of our lives.
The First Lady urged the Western University team to consider expanding partnerships with other Ugandan universities, including Bara University of Science and Technology. Noting its medical school's successful community-based learning approach, Dr. Opio Loya expressed Western University's commitment to strengthening existing collaborations with Ugandan institutions and exploring new opportunities.
We are looking to strengthen, to continue to tighten, and to see what we can do together to collaborate.
Okay.
We think that there is a lot of room and area where we can collaborate, where we can learn, and continue to guide our young people in a good way.
That's right.
We identified East Africa and Uganda in particular as one of the, say, 3 or 4 regions of the world that we are going to focus on. So I've described our visit in camping terms. I don't know if you've ever gone camping, probably not. But
reporting for UBC, Paguma William.
The General Overseer of the National Fellowship of the Born-Again Pentecostal Churches, Archbishop Dr. Moses Odongo, has decried the growing resistance to correction among married couples. He made these remarks while addressing hundreds of faithfuls at a marriage conference held at the Redeemed Christian Church of God in Kisugu, Namuongo.
In a world increasingly marked by individualism and self-righteousness, Archbishop Dr. Moses Odongo delivered a strong message at the well-attended conference. He cautioned against the pride that makes many married individuals unreceptive to correction.
That trait of being able to put down your will. I've encouraged couples that each one has the get into marriage. They should not promote their personal egos.
In a very bold appeal to couples, Archbishop Dr. Moses Odong urged husbands to be open to counsel from their wives and vice versa, emphasizing that mutual teachability is key to lasting unions.
And so that trait of being able to accept your fault, accept to listen to someone else, especially now your spouse, accepting even to accept the wrong that you have done. Now, in marriage, what complicates marriage today and families is that either the husband or the wife is strong on his own ideology or thinking. He does not want to accept his fault, and because of our culture, women suffer a lot thereafter because men think that they are right all the time. But in real life, all of us are fallen, all of us make mistakes, all of us are weak.
The conference organized by Pastor Joanna Ongeyiru from Namwongo, Kanyogoga, focused on rebuilding families rooted in faith and moral responsibility. Pastor Joanna, who resides around the slums of Kanyogoga, believes that with faith and effort, families can raise a responsible generation even in the toughest environments.
I'm telling you, there is no nation, there is no church without a family. Everything starts from a family. But you know the way we are brought up, most of them you blame them, but they don't know what to do. It's like, these people go to Dubai and you leave children. By the time you come back, the daughter you left is already pregnant. The other one has impregnated the other one. You know, the other one, by the time you come back with your money, your children is taking marijuana. And it is very hard to bring them back. You know, that is the problem that I found. Most of the people in the slums where I minister, they come from rich families. Money is not their problem. The problem is that they felt neglected. They were not given time. Dad is nowhere to be seen, mom is nowhere to be seen. They take time, you don't know what your children eat, you don't know how they go. So we throw them in boarding schools and it's the maids to go and visit them. We don't know who their friends are. The children, they leave your house and they go and they come back, you don't even know where they have gone. So most of the children on the streets, it's not because of poverty.
Various speakers stressed that pride and the refusal to listen are destroying marriages. They called for humility, compromise, and mutual respect as essential tools for conflict resolution.
So the idea of being broken is the ability to be able to accept that. I also make mistakes. Let me own them up. But also it helps you to know that my friend has some strong areas. Let me listen to my friend. They have a point, they have an input into my life. And so that is where brokenness helps marriages a lot to thrive and even to prosper.
Couples were urged to resolve their differences with dignity and confidentiality, not through public ridicule or shame.
The one you think that you have gone to, who is not professionally taught how to handle issues, to have confidentiality, will also have another friend talk to. At the end of the day, everyone will know your issues. And it tends to bring shame. If you find out that the person you didn't intend to know your issues has known them, then shame comes to you. And when shame comes, what next? Disaster.
Crispus Arinitwe, UBC News.
Over 1,250 women from 17 sub-counties in Kiteezi East constituency have graduated with hands-on skills thanks to the Minister for Information and National Guidance, Dr. Chris Baryomonsi. The skilling program is an initiative aimed at transforming lives through vocational training in tailoring, fashion design, and saloon management. We have more details.
Over 1,250 women from 17 sub-counties in Kiteezi East constituency have graduated with hands-on skills, thanks to the Minister for Information and National Guidance, Dr. Chris Baryomonsi. The program focuses on equipping women with practical skills to empower communities and combat poverty.
So I came up with the idea of supplementing what the President has been preaching and doing, of skilling our young people, and also started this initiative. And I began with the tailoring and fashion design, as well as salon and hairdressing. And you can see the uptake has been very high, and I intend to expand it and include other service and skills so that we can skill our young people, for those who drop out of school, to be able to have some skills that can enable them survive in life.
The graduation ceremony held at Kanungu Playgrounds was officiated by King Caesar Augustus Mlenga, who awarded certificates to graduates and commended the initiative's impact on grassroots transformations.
But as you know, employment in government or other organization is a small number.
Sheikh Abdulaziz, famously known as the Green Sheikh, has urged the Ugandan government to empower individuals and communities to take action for the environment. He is in Uganda for the 100th Rotary District 9213 conference, happening in Jinja from April 10th to 14th. These are the details.
On Friday, Sheikh Abdulaziz paid a courtesy visit to the Ministry of Water and Environment, advocating for stronger partnerships between governments, businesses and civil society organizations in environmental conservation.
So we need to influence people through conferences, through delegation, through meeting another civil societies, making partnership, visiting people. We're coming here, we're really impressed. My son Amar and I, so impressed. We changed the misconception about Uganda. It's so friendly, so people nice. When we just touched down, I felt I'm connected to this beautiful land. It has an opportunity. The most jewel you have, no one has. You have the source of Nile.
Ministry officials, led by the Permanent Secretary, Dr. Alfred Okot Okidi, briefed the Sheikh on the ministry's operations and key challenges in managing Uganda's natural resources.
Uganda's primary strength, our guest of honor, lies in nature-based solutions suitable for agriculture, forestry, and ecosystem services, which also have a unique potential as a carbon sink that can be harnessed for carbon trading.
Our forests have been literally, in the 1990s, we're talking about the forest being covered being 24, and then presently we're talking about the coverage to be at 12.2%.
The upcoming Rotary Conference will focus on global issues such as environmental sustainability, climate change, and water resources management. Sheikh Abdulaziz emphasized the need for collaborative action and later planted a tree as a symbol of his commitment to Uganda's environmental efforts.
Thousands of Rwandan genocide survivors and relatives converged at the Kole Memorial Site to commemorate their loved ones who died in the 1994 Rwanda genocide. Over 4,000 bodies drifting from Rwanda's Nyabarongo River into Lake Victoria, and many of them were buried in Kole mass grave in Mpigi district. More details in this report.
The Kole Genocide Memorial Site is accessible via a 9-kilometer branch of Masaka Road at Kayabwe, situated adjacent to the Kole landing site, where numerous bodies tragically flowed from Rwanda's Nyabarongo River into Lake Victoria. This is a man who in his 20s played a pivotal role in collecting the lake's bloated corpses, which had lingered for months, and lowered them in this mass grave, a task that filled locals with grief.
I have always had a strong heart, even in the face of death. When someone passes, I close the eyes first, prepare them with care, and call the rest later. I kindly request a token of appreciation.
Survivors vividly recall the trauma and psychological torment they endured during the genocide, both at home and in school, and still grapple with the turmoil's origins.
The teacher came, pulled me by my shoulder, my dress on the shoulder, and dragged me all the way through the classroom and squeezed me against the other two students in the back. And when we went back to sit, one of my neighbors, Hutu, who was in the front, and remember by that time I was 7 years old. So my classmate a Hutu begins to insult me and say, you're a bad person, you're a Tutsi, you guys are killers, and so on.
These mass graves hold over 400 bodies retrieved from the lake, a somber resting place that brings immense grief to relatives who often struggle to contain their emotions during the commemoration. State Minister Alice Kaboyo paid tribute to the genocide victims. She highlighted a recent geopolitical conference that reopened borders, boosting trade between Rwanda and Uganda.
Bilateral relations between Rwanda and Uganda are mainly driven by the Joint Permanent Commission between the two countries, JPC, in March 2023, where decisions were made to further enhance cooperation between the two countries.
From afar, this ideology is being spread through social media platforms and online channels, and in some education and higher learning institutions. Some so-called researchers have been spreading the revisionist narratives of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi with all sorts of distorted namings.
Kaboyo expects further economic benefits from the next conference, building on the progress made so far.
It is now 31 years since the genocide, and here I'm standing at Golo landing site. It is believed that over 4,000 bodies were floating at this landing site. What conspired were the Tutsi who were being hunted by the Hutu during the genocide. The Tutsi word apparently was meant to mean the people who were rich with cattle, and the Hutu meant to those who were followers of the bigger people. Now this became a problem when the Belgian government decided to use it as a definition among the races in Rwanda during the identification process and registration process. I'm Bantu Machabe Semambo, UBC News.
Thank you very much, Semambo, for that heartful story. We do recognize your efforts. The University of Kisubi has hosted its second international research conference, bringing together scholars, researchers, and experts from around the world. The conference was held under the theme Community Transformation through Research and Innovation for Improvement of Human Condition in the New Normal. These are the details.
The University of Kisubi Second International Research Conference has featured keynote speeches, paper presentations, and panel discussions on various topics related to community transformation. Scholars presented their findings on innovative solutions to address challenges in areas such as health, education, and economic development.
Students as early as high school, but also the university students working on innovations that have potential to be commercialized. Seeing interesting innovations like herbicides, herbal medicines. You're seeing renewable energy. You're seeing fertilizers from.
The conference included an exhibition area where researchers showcased their work and innovations, featuring various projects including innovative agricultural practices, community-based health initiatives, educational technology solutions, and renewable energy project C. The University Vice Chancellor, Brother Dr. Degracius Mugema, said the exhibition provided an opportunity for participants to learn about new developments and innovations in their field C.
You can see some of the innovations the students and the lecturers are carrying out. Among the prominent ones, we have what we call unique eco bike, which is a self-recharging motorcycle that does not need fuel and only uses batteries to charge and move, generate power to be able to move. It has been tested and now we are in the final stages of having it patented. We have also collaborations with the institutions around, including St. Mary's College Kisubi, with an interesting project they have come up of converting human hair into fertilizer.
The Superintendent, Industrial Value Chain Development, Dr. Cosmas Mukilize, on behalf of the Minister for Science, Technology and Innovation, Dr. Monica Musenelo, highlighted the importance of research and innovation in driving community transformation.
Now we know that there is no other way that we can develop this economy other than through knowledge-based goods and services.
Robert Katamba for UBC News.
Now, in a bold push for gender equality, the Women's Pro Bono Initiative, in partnership with the Institute of Gender and Development Studies at Makerere University, hosted a powerful debate on the role of men in advancing gender justice in Uganda. Let's take a look at the details.
The conversation brought together intellectuals, activists, and citizens to challenge long-standing societal norms. Gender justice is not about women asking for privilege, it's about demanding the rights they deserve.
Women are going to work, we go to same offices. Is my wife supposed to come back and do all the gender roles that seemingly have been attributed to a woman, then still come and bring money? You know, the expectation that we go to work together, then the woman comes back, prepares food, lays the bed, provides sex, wakes up very early in the morning, still cooks breakfast, and then you, a man, you're bringing half of the money and sitting and being a man. We are saying that should be changed. Men should be engaged and told to come to the table and be active in gender justice. We are telling women as well, speak to your son, teach them that how a man lived in 80s is not how a man is supposed to be living today. We are for equality and justice.
Several speakers emphasized that gender equality does not diminish the role of women, instead it promotes harmony. Today's Ugandan home, they said, is one where women are equally breadwinners, decision makers and heads of households.
Women are being empowered and men are feeling the loss of that power. That is why they feel that they are being left behind, because what has been promised to them is no longer available. They tell you get a wife, she will serve meat, she will cook for you, she will wash your clothes. Then the woman comes to the home and she's not doing all that. And you say, I feel as if the society has given me the wrong impression of what it means to have a wife. But for us, we take it as women empowerment. Because women, we are not going to go back. We will not go back to the kitchen. But at the same time, men have to come to a point of recognizing that the woman of today is an empowered woman. And there is no going back from that. You're not going to take away her education, you're not going to take away her work and her money. But how then do you live side by side with such an empowered woman?
They called on men to be allies in rooms where women have historically been excluded, using their voices to uplift rather than suppress.
Society is very complex now. Men are intricately related with women at multiple levels. So we cannot leave the responsibility of promoting equality to women alone.
The work of gender justice will obviously create some resistance, and therefore doing work of engaging men and getting them on the same page with women is distracting and disrupting from the goal of achieving women's autonomy. And therefore what we should focus on as women activists or as women rights advocates should be to ensure that there are institutions in place that hold people accountable for any injustices that women face, and that women should always focus on the goal of attaining their autonomy.
This public debate was organized by Women's Pro Bono Initiative, partnering with the Department of Gender Studies at Makerere University. Crispus Arinitwe, UBC News.
Ugandans have been cautioned to abscond from sedentary lifestyle, which is the leading causes of diabetes and hypertension. Now, this call was made by the president of the Lions Club of Chengera Lion, Martin Muhanji, in a health camp that took place in Chengera Health Center 111. Let's take a look.
Hypertension is a non-communicable disease affecting many people in Uganda. Nevertheless, majority of the people are ignorant about the underlying medical conditions, despite the intense plea by medics for regular screening.
And so far, for the time we've been around and we've been chatted, we are quite excited and we find such a joy into giving service to our people, but also networking among ourselves, and we are also excited that we are part of the bigger community worldwide that gives service.
Medics advise the public to look out for the warning signs of hypertension while it is still in the first stages where it can be regulated.
We have been overwhelmed with the support they have given us. This has also lessened our burden, and such initiatives are really paramount, not only for we, the health center, but also for the community members, because these people are from the community. And when such clubs always come in to support, to implement, and to provide support, it really shows our community empowerment, and also it gives us encouragement, we as people who are working at these health centers, because sometimes we have overwhelming numbers.
The Lions Club of Chengera has conducted a health camp where screening and treatment of hypertension, diabetes, HIV/AIDS and blood donation has been done. Medics also advised the general public to mind their lifestyles.
We appeal upon the members of the public to make sure that you join this great club, Lion Club International. Locate a club within your locality, identify with the members of the Lion Club, and let us serve each other. Let's live in better communities where we support each other.
The patron of the club, who is the Global Leadership Coordinator, applauded the Lions Club of Chengera, John Bosco Ntangare, for extending health services to their community.
I believe this is an intervention which this community, which the community wanted. And when I look at the weather, it is raining, but the people are here getting the services. So that is testimony that this club is going to make an impact in this community.
Crispus Adinitwe, Vincent Wamondo, UBC News.
Kama nemo pocket, tambula body street, issues are my target. We are what? Unstoppable. We are what? Unstoppable. I'm in a plantation, but on a global mission, internet ambition, full condition. We are what? Unstoppable. We are what? Unstoppable. Oro cash is gone, netaga yo kaloni, niga mukafoni, money in the zone. We are what? Unstoppable. We are what? Unstoppable. We are good.
With you and MTN together, our ambition is unstoppable.
We are what? Unstoppable!
Mera ngenze mboni pa Sam, nazanya ruto, ganyiga star, 278 then hash, kuja kubanga oyingide mukazanyo. Nga sente zino zimula wano zina wangu zino wano, milioni 10, inala mu mukaga. Ebindi wana soka bila ku TV. Nange sasoka kikiriza. Ningamulaye kino kinzo kubanga kituufu oba yaddala. Tibya bufere, sente zo nazifunye zo nazikoze eki naziwangudde. Amasanyu ina mangi, ebyoto byange byembadde njagala ngenda bituukiriza.
Uganda National Lottery. Dream, play, win.
Participants must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The Uganda National Lottery is operated by Ituba Uganda and regulated by the National Lotteries and Gaming Regulatory.
Welcome back. You're still watching the UBC News Tonight. We now take you into more news. Garbage dumping and collection remains a big challenge to Kampala Capital City Authority in modern times, and this many other public health risks if not managed, are likely to happen and also may lead to deadly outbreaks of diseases like cholera, diarrhea, and increasing the number of cancer patients. At the center of this dilemma is Kampala Capital City Authority that is struggling with the menace of limited resources to procure 10 garbage trucks to ensure efficiency in the collection of garbage in the city. Farid Anafuka has a report.
Solid waste management remain a big challenge in Kampala and its surrounding suburbs. The major cause of the glaring piles of garbage in the streets of Kampala capital city, the inefficiency by Kampala Capital City Authority KCCA to collect garbage, while the flowing sewage in the streets and flooding is attributed to poor garbage disposal. Here, many of the residents pour their garbage in drainage channels, whereas the absence of street garbage bins has worsened the littering of streets.
So if you want to make sure that you spend little in hospitals, make sure that you deal with the garbage. If you want to make sure that you have a clean lake, clean city, make sure that you collect almost all the garbage that you generate. In
Kampala Capital City Authority, as KCC, can't manage clearance of the tonnage of garbage which is produced in Kampala. Kampala can't manage. We need the central government intervention.
It is estimated that 2,500 tons of garbage are generated in Kampala, yet only 1,200 tons are collected. The failure by Kampala Capital City Authority to acquire new fleet of garbage trucks hinders the efficiency of collecting garbage in the city by the responsible authority. At the moment, the authority is running with an old batch of fleet garbage trucks acquired 9 years ago as donation from Lake Victoria Environment Management Project. On table is a demand to procure 10 brand new garbage trucks to enhance efficiency in the collection of garbage in the city. However, the demand has remained a wishful thinking to the authority due to funding gaps in the authority's budget allocation.
10 garbage trucks to increase on the stock of our old fleet to quickly increase our capacity of evacuating garbage and also enabling us double or the speed at which we clean the city. We also want to procure 5 cesspool trucks to support the process of enabling our communities reduce the solid waste in the communities, but we do not have resources for this.
To know how many garbage trucks they are going to buy for each and every division. If we get garbage trucks, they are going to help mostly in the slum areas where people cannot afford to pay money for garbage. We understand that.
It's important that we provide trucks to KCCA, about 100 trucks, so that we can have a truck that collects the biodegradable, separate from that collects the non-biodegradable. Because you cannot mix them. You cannot sensitize our communities to separate garbage, then for you bring one truck and put all the garbage together. It will be a disservice to all those that generate garbage.
Kampala Capital City Authority contracted 3 private companies that include Solid Waste Management responsible for garbage collection in Kawempe Division, Home Clean, also responsible for garbage collection in the city. The project manager of Nabugabo Updeal, another big garbage collection company, Sonko Abubakari, says the company used to have small trucks for garbage collection in the city and the surrounding suburbs. However, this was the time when the city authority had no dumping landfill.
We had a fleet of 25 trucks, so we added 30-ton capacity trucks, 6 of them to the fleet, and we are intending to add more because our deployment plan, we need at least each parish in Kampala, Central and Rubaga to have at least 2 trucks of 30-ton capacity.
Whereas attempts to have a clean Kampala capital city with the availability of plastic bins in the streets is being met with numerous challenges, Sonko says the laxity in enforcing the law on reckless dumping of garbage has significantly contributed to littering of streets.
Garbage containers, people operating food vending they bring hot ash or hot charcoal, then dump into these plastic containers, so they end up being burned. So hawkers and vendors, they bring their merchandise every evening, but after selling their merchandise, they leave garbage along the streets. So this has been a challenge somehow, but we have already reported it to KCCA. We are soon getting a solution to this.
Initially, President Museveni had directed KCCA to stop charging fees from residents to facilitate the collection of garbage in their community, on account that the authority alternative funding in its budget to contract private companies to collect garbage. However, this presidential directive suffered serious setbacks in the budget cuts of KCCA vote by Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development. This, moving forward, left contracted private companies to collect garbage vulnerable with no option but to impose charges of garbage collection on the people, since KCCA to date is still incapacitated to pay the contracted garbage collection companies to do their work.
Any money from the government, we don't get any funds from the government, either top up or anything of the sort. So I urge people to continue paying for garbage, because it is the very money we use to offer the service of garbage collection and transportation.
Accordingly, KCCA passed the litter ordinance in 2022 with penalties like community service, fines and imprisonment. There is also a solid waste management ordinance, and in the new National Environment Management Act, there are also offences that can be preferred on any person found culprit. To achieve their main objectives of putting these ordinances in place, KCCA has deployed Green Scouts in Kampala to start enforcing the legal regime of these.
You Ugandans, to please avoid falling in prey of this. There will be no mercy waiver with who or who. As long as you're caught, we shall line you to court, and then we'll look at the matter, whether the matter qualifies for a straight fine, a quick fine. Please adhere. Put garbage skips or baskets in your cars and dump there. If you're walking, you look for everywhere there is a KCCA skip or a KCCA bin. Please dump your waste, including water bottles.
Having recovered from the Kiteezi landfill, the search for the new landfill yielded results at a whopping cough of 13.6 billion shillings.
And also, we've also received the funds which are going to be used to pay land where we are still temporarily dumping.
So have enough land in Buyala. They have only used 5 acres for just dumping garbage, which shouldn't be a solution. So we must, for starters, if we have not yet invested the other money for a sustainable system, then we should, as a matter of urgency, think of designing a landfill. A landfill must have a buffer of between 200 to 500 meters, a buffer, distance away from the people.
We had a challenge of a dump site, but successfully KCCA secured a dump site for us, and that's what we are using of recent. Recently they have agreed they are going to allow us to dump up to past midnight. So this was for purposes of creating convenience for us to dump, because the city had a lot of backlog. Remember, in the past 6 months we had nowhere to dump, and the city had clogged.
The whole challenge of solid waste management in Kampala requires increased resources for Kampala Capital City Authority for civic awareness on reckless dumping of garbage, having more than 1 landfills, and procurement of more garbage trucks that can manage garbage traffic collection in the city. I'm Nafka Farida, reporting in Kampala.
Thank you very much, Nafuka Farida, for that in-depth story, and we do hope this compels the audience to make sure they know where to dump their garbage. Now, Emyoga Sacco's beneficiaries in Lira City and surrounding districts have raised concerns over challenges in certifying their products. The Uganda National Bureau of Standards has come under criticism, with some accusing it of promoting bureaucracy, making it harder for their products to compete locally and internationally. The Microfinance Support Center organized a stakeholder engagement meeting on product certification, business registration, and value addition to bridge these gaps.
Regions of West Nile and Lango, beneficiaries under the Myuga program, said the certification process by the Uganda National Bureau of Standards is complicated and expensive. They claim this has given room for counterfeit products to flood the market, undermining the competitiveness of their own goods.
My concern with the UNBS is they are doing substandard work for us as citizens of Uganda.
The produce that is sold to the community is always so much adulterated.
Most of the certified products, even a layman will see that they are not of the quality.
UNBS, please, where are you? You are the main contributors to the sicknesses of Uganda.
It's a big issue for me. It hurts me.
The Microfinance Support Center has partnered with the Uganda National Bureau of Standards, Uganda Revenue Authority, and Uganda Registration Services Bureau to bridge these gaps. A stakeholders engagement meeting on value addition was held in Lira City to address the concerns.
We want to help them to understand that product certification is key if you want to really reap more from the market, because always customers will have trust on products that are genuine, that are not harmful to our health.
Simon Peter Edgewright, Microfinance Support Center Gulu Zonal Manager, encouraged Myuga beneficiaries to have their products certified and registered to gain credibility and market access both nationally and globally.
With the volatility that we are seeing today, when you don't have a certified product, it becomes hard for you to sell it, because people, consumers will not be trusting your product that you are taking to the market.
The resident city commissioner of Lira, Lillian Ayel, welcomed the initiative, saying it's a timely intervention that will boost economic growth among the beneficiaries, emphasizing the need for a mindset shift and unethical values among some government agencies.
It is also prudent to mention that let us avoid corruption. UNBS, more often people have alleged and reported you to me that your team demand money for these activities. And that sometimes when they demand money and it is paid, now they got to do very little. I also want to say URA-US is about harshness. More often than not, people have said the staff are too harsh. We are denying our people the services which are crucial in their service delivery. And we are also contradicting our own messages. We are saying socioeconomic transformation, having you out of poverty, but in a way we are again limiting them by our what? Actions.
The training also covers essential topics including tax education, business registration, product certification, and standardization geared at improving the quality and marketability of Myuga products. With proper certification and value addition, beneficiaries are hopeful their products can now compete more effectively, spurring growth and sustainability under a Myuga initiative. Mary Namkose, Robert Boita, UBC News.
The State Minister of Kampala Metropolitan Affairs, Kabuye Chofa-Togabye, has disclosed that compensation for the funds for homes affected by the Kiteezi landfill disaster will come as soon as the Auditor General's report is received. This assurance came during a ceremony where over 120 survivors of the Kiteezi disaster received certificates for completing a skilling program facilitated by Women in Technology and Stanbic Uganda.
The Minister of State for Kampala Metropolitan Affairs, Kabuye Chofa-Togabye, has emphasized government's commitment to supporting Kiteezi garbage collapse-affected communities. He also announced that the Auditor General's report to evaluate lost property of the affected homes is due before Easter 2025.
Nze Kabuye Chofa ne bwe neekalakaasa sula gamba nti kati bwe tulina kayumba kano ekizimbe kyo kyetaagamu obukadde 5 awo nsibira luzira nabitegeera ntya. Kati naffe omuntu oyo gwe tubadde tukola ki? Kati engeri gye yatusuubiza nti 18 atuwa alipoota mwe baba n'agimpa nga omulaba nzija neekalakaasa omwezi guno ye wiiki ejja eri ndowooza nga mugenda oba isitaawo kati kirabika batuwa ekirabo kyaki kati ebyo bwe biggwa isitanga ewedde bano abantu bange bakomewo tutandika okugamba Shadia gundi ennyumba y'eno bakubaliridemu obukadde bwe buti.
This skilling initiative is part of the broader efforts by Women in Technology Uganda and Stanbic Bank to support the victims of the Kiteezi tragedy, which claimed lives and destroyed homes last year.
Batuyigiriza okukola keeki, batuyigiriza okukola sabbuuni, ono wa liquid soap ne sabbuuni ono w'emiti, kando, ebitabo, byonna.
Nsomesa yanjigiriza ekigambo ekiyitibwa ebitabo. Yanjigiriza nga mbiyitanga byakusaaga. Nenjiga bwe nava wano, nentuula, nentandika okukola ekitabo. Bwe nali nkikola naye nga bwe neekubira akalango. Bannange nkola ebitabo, mumpagire, mumpe ku ssente. Ne bagamba wabitandise ddi? Ne bagamba nze nkola ebitabo.
Local leaders, Women in Technology Uganda, Stanbic Bank Uganda and partners praised this initiative for its impact on empowering these women and men, urging them to utilize the skills to transform their economic lives.
This program in particular was a bit hard because we had men in class. So do we chase them? Do we leave them? We had people that are above 35 and they were really passionate. So the question still was, do we chase them? Do we leave them?
Your journey does not end here. Let this be your beginning. Remain focused, committed, and confident in the value you bring to your families and communities. You are not just graduates, you are entrepreneurs, leaders, and agents of change.
This women-targeted cohort were given starter packs including a charcoal oven, book cutters, hair dryers to kickstart their business ventures. Wadulo Arnold Mark for UBC News in Kiteezi.
51 youth in Kabarole have graduated from the Uganda Breweries Limited Learning for Life program, which is in partnership with Toro Kingdom and Enterprise Uganda. The youth were equipped with business and hospitality skills, which increases their chances of finding employment in the hospitality industry.
There is a continued need to identify and implement interventions aimed at reducing income inequalities caused by unemployment in the society. These were the remarks made by Suleiman Gondi, the Uganda Brewery Sustainability and Communications Manager, during a graduation ceremony held in the Kabarole sub-region.
Learning for Life program is a business and hospitality skills training program that targets those who want to seek employment or entrepreneurship in the hospitality sector but have barriers due to lack of skills. So the training and the skills that they gathered today, we believe is going to help them access the employment or entrepreneurship, which helps them earn a livelihood for themselves. And as well, it improves the standards of the hospitality sector, which also leads to its growth.
The event saw 51 young people graduate after completing training in hospitality industry skills.
If we include the training that we have done today, we have reached 329 trainees. That includes Kampala as well. And we still have a few more trainings coming up in Entebbe.
The initiative is appreciated by the Toro Kingdom through its Deputy Prime Minister, Harriet Nyakake. In a message to the youth, they were reminded that the more you invest in your personal and professional development, the greater your potential for success.
We talk to them and we expect them to promote our kingdom, to promote Toro, promote Fort Portal City, and of course to handle well our visitors who are coming in Fort Portal City or Toro Kingdom, and more especially the behavior. They should behave well. They are our ambassadors because they receive so many people, and at the end of it all, they should respect themselves.
Every year, about 400,000 young Ugandans enter the job market to compete for approximately 52,000 available formal jobs.
I've learned how I can make a business, how I can move forward with a business, and how I can manage my business. Through main things, how I can communicate with my clients, how I can handle them.
Dennis Igor for UBC News.
Housing Finance Bank recently partnered with PesaPal Uganda to enhance digital payment solutions, driving a cashless economy in Uganda. This strategic move aims to empower small and medium enterprises with seamless, secure and efficient financial solutions. Through integrating PesaPal's innovative payment platforms, businesses will now gain access to broader collection channels, enabling smoother online and offline transactions and quicker access to funds.
The partnership between Housing Finance Bank and PesaPal Uganda will see Housing Finance Bank leverage its branch network to help businesses adapt PesaPal's payment solutions, including point-of-sales terminals and e-commerce solutions.
We know PesaPal has about 8,000 merchants, and with our customers, we want to tap into that to drive convenience so that every customer, we're able to delight every customer at every touch point, such that they're able to have convenience, and we are driving a seamless, cashless economy.
The rising demand for secure, seamless and convenient cashless transactions is pushing sector holders to innovate deeper while addressing the bottlenecks.
So many times people prefer to default back to cash transactions. So if government can do something around that, because sometimes it's related to the tax regime, it does sometimes create friction, because every time someone wants to receive or is going to receive a mobile payment, they'll add that statement, please add withdrawal charges. That is friction.
This initiative finds Uganda on the upward trend to mirror the global digital payments market, projected to reach $15 trillion by 2027, amidst the current tariff turbulence caused by the USA.
The tariffs, first and foremost, disrupt the supply chain, because if you look at innovation, most techs depend on different countries to bring different components to build. Let's say even if a phone is, you see a Nokia phone or whatever phone you have, it has different components at a source from different countries. But as we go, at the end of the day, in terms of tariff, you said costs increasing, we're driving convenience.
The new service will be accessible at supermarkets, fuel stations, hospitals and restaurants, among others. Wadulo Arnold Mark, UBC News, in Kampala.
MTN Uganda's Mpola Mpola device financing scheme has received a boost with the launch of the new Kabode Super smartphone, which officially hit the market this Friday in downtown Kampala. These are the details.
World over, members of the public have access to goods at higher purchase. This mode of acquisition of properties and goods that hitherto wouldn't be accessed by the public has become common in Uganda, but made vibrant by MTN Uganda. This, the telecommunication giant, has intensified on the occasion of launching their new Kabode Super smartphone.
We are down here at the new taxi park in the heart of Kampala City with one exciting promotion from MTN. For all of you who have been trying to get a smartphone and you've not been able to get a smartphone because you say the price is too much, well, we are here with a solution for you. Today we have unveiled our new Kabode Super Stealth Peer Vibe, which means that now you can be able to get all your favorite content off our Kabode phone.
Over 150 beehives have been handed over to women under the Bumu Group initiative with support from the Microfinance Support Center. Operation Wealth Creation Senior Officer Major General Eli Kayanja hailed the project as a beacon of dignity and resilience, while Dennis Samson Magala from the Microfinance Support Center described the beehives as seeds of opportunity.
A local women's group under the WOMO has received 170 modern beehives, an initiative aimed at economic empowerment and sustainability for women's better lives. These were provided as a non-cash grant aimed at boosting income generation through apiculture, with support from Microfinance Support Center. The event was graced by retired Major General Eli Kayanja, who praised the initiative for its focus on uplifting rural livelihood, particularly among women.
It will be a success. It will be a success. But the price of honey is going up every day. And today we have seen that there are other things which can be made from beekeeping. The government is committed to make sure this project does not fail.
The chairperson of Rakai District, Sekamakagwa Samuel, pledged to continue the support for community-based economic programs.
And this project, beekeeping, will be one of the projects which is going to answer the cry of His Excellency the President to see that people are earning and having projects to get money.
Officials from the Microfinance Support Center emphasized the importance of collective growth through group-based wealth creation at village level, alongside efforts in environmental conservation.
We have trained these groups in governance, how to lead themselves. We have trained them financial literacy. We have trained them on internal resource mobilization or savings as groups. We have also trained them on record keeping, because this is the vehicle that will improve our low-income people and the active poor.
Therefore, this practice will encourage them not only to stop tree cutting, but also to grow more trees. Because at the end of the day, where you need to put the beehives will need some sort of trees. So it's a good approach for us to move forward with the community.
Beneficiaries expressed optimism that this journey will enable them to generate income and transform their lives.
When you are aged, it's very difficult to look after a banana plantation, to look after a coffee plantation, or to look after crops, seasonal crops. But for bees, it is possible. So I urge everybody to change minds and do practice beekeeping.
Susan Nabugudde for UBC News.
Come on, mo pocket, tambula body street, shoes are my target. We are what? Unstoppable. We are what? Unstoppable. I'm in a plantation, but on a global mission, internet ambition, full condition. We are what? Unstoppable. We are what? Unstoppable. Oro cash is gone, netaga yo kaloni, niga mukafoni, money in the zone. We are what? Unstoppable. We are what? Unstoppable. We are good.
With you and MTN together, our ambition is unstoppable.
We are what? Unstoppable!
Welcome back. Now it's time for sports. Minister for Higher Education, Dr. J.C. Muyingo, has expressed commitment to continue supporting sports and games in the rural areas of Bamunanika in Luwero district to promote the talents of the youth and keep them united. Dr. Muyingo was officiating at the finals of the Dr. J.C. Muyingo football tournament played at Wabitungulu playgrounds between Chetume FC and champions defeated Nachigoza FC with 2-0.
Business came to a standstill along Zero Wechichosa Road at Wabitungulu Trading Center in Luwero. The Minister of State for Higher Education, Dr. J.C. Muyingo, was travelling to Abitungulu Playground to officiate the finals between Chetume FC and Nachugoza FC in the Dr. J.C. Muyingo Football Tournament 2025. Muyingo, led by the brass band, school children, boda cyclists and vehicles, was accompanied by various political leaders amidst joy and celebration from the communities. During the finals of the 3-month contest, Dr. J.C. Muyingo Football Tournament at Wabitungulu Playground, Chetume football team won with 2 goals against Nachugoza FC, Nile. The 2 goals by Chetume FC were scored in the second half of the 3rd minute by Joko John, and in the 84th minute of the game, Kakwoza Moses scored the 2nd goal. Muyingo congratulated all that participated in the tournament and promised to continue uniting and promote the talented youth in the rural areas of Bamnanika through sports and games. Muyingo encouraged learners at all levels to always avoid bad practices, diverting them from their studies, and parents to utilize the schools by government to educate their children.
Contribute to what you are going to be tomorrow. Do you agree with me? Yes. At that time, the Minister of Education and Sports visited our school deep in the village. The school is called Kampala. And we are given a chance.
He was on a familiarization tour at St. Mark Wabitungulu Primary School, a government-aided school in Zirowe, Luwero district. Mary Namkose, Salongo Kasibante, UBC News.
And that brings us to the end of our 10 o'clock edition of the UBC News. We do apologize, we're far past our time, but we had to bring the news. Otherwise, have yourselves a lovely night. My name is Badulo Arnold Mark, Dorothy Namuyomba on sign language. From the team behind the scenes, allow us to wish you a good night.
UBC